Well, here we are in another losing Seahawks locker room, and it has been a long season. Season record now 4-8. Let's try and get some answers and some impressions. Coach Chuck Knox. Hey, Chuckles, think you guys can win another game? Probably not, huh? Oh! Guess the coach isn't in a talking mood right now. Let's talk to somebody else. Hey, there's quarterback Dave Craig. Hey, Dave, think you could maybe fumble the ball another time or two? Do you? Dave's in kind of a crabby mood right now. Who else could we talk? Here's a guy we couldn't blame for what's been going on because he hadn't even been playing. Brian Bosworth. Uh-oh, I bet he's going to hit me right there. Oh, please. Oh, don't hurt me so. Oh, Brian, you're killing me, baby. Oh, he put my hammer down.
All right, listen up. This is Chuck Knox, the designated Santa for this season. I want to say right up front, I'm a little disappointed in the effort I've been seeing out there. I think some of the boys and the girls are not giving it 125%. That's just not the kind of game I want to play. There are going to be a few changes this season. First of all, the Reindeer are going to play a running game this year, to keep it on the ground, because too many bad things can happen to you when you go to the air. Also, Rudolph hasn't been pulling his weight lately, so we're going to be starting a rookie in the lead deer position. Second-round draft choice, great lateral quickness, and I think we can expect some good action out there. Also, as you know, Prancer took a hit in the hamstrings last week. He's on rehab, not going to be out there. And Blitzen's been running after too many does. We just cannot condone that kind of behavior on the team. A lot of you have been asking for the Nintendo computer football games. As far as we're concerned, that's pansy kind of stuff. None of this Ninja Turtle crap either. You got to be playing with G.I. Joe. Now there's a toy for you. Strong, got the stiff arm, great size, real lifelike care, and great lateral quickness. Just a quality doll. All right then, let's have a holly, jolly kind of Christmas. Let's get out there on three. Ready? Ho, ho, ho. Anything else, gentlemen? All right.
Well, the whole nation is looking forward to the Super Bowl on Sunday, but here in Seattle, we're especially interested because of the mathematical possibility that the Seahawks could still qualify for the big one in New Orleans. Here's what has to happen. First of all, it starts with the Denver Broncos, 12, 13-point underdogs, and clearly headed for their fourth Super Bowl loss. The team is depressed, and there's a chance that they could spend too much time drinking and carousing on Bourbon Street. They wake up Sunday too ill to perform. This would put the AFC runner-up Cleveland Browns into the picture. However, if there were to be a major snowstorm in Ohio, severe enough to knock down phone lines, which could happen, there would be no way to notify the Browns in time. So the AFC semifinalists, Pittsburgh and Buffalo, would be next. Now, let's assume that the plane carrying the Steelers accidentally flies into Soviet airspace and is shot down, and the Bills' entire team is sidelined by one of those 24-hour bugs that's been going around, which could happen, and we come to Houston then, the team which recently fired its coach, Jerry Glanville. They, of course, are in total disarray and are not organized enough to field a team. This brings us to Cincinnati, which, being in Ohio, is also crippled by that big snowstorm. Next in line would be the Los Angeles Raiders. But the big problem here is that Bo Jackson has already started preparing for baseball spring training. And if he can't play, why would the Raiders bother? That leaves Kansas City, Miami, and the Seahawks. Well, let's assume that half of Kansas City's team has signed up for that fun cruise with Brian Bosworth, which could happen. That would eliminate them. This leaves Miami and Seattle. Now, these two teams did not play against each other during the regular season. However, since Seattle was recently voted the most livable city in America, not Miami, the Seahawks would have the edge and would therefore qualify as San Francisco's opponent for the Super Bowl, which could happen.
And you know, there are a lot of soldiers from the Northwest over there, and we at Almost Live came up with our own list of what to send to Northwest soldiers. You should send a minute-and-a-half Best of the Seahawks video.
Here's Seahawks kicker Norm Johnson for B&B Used Cars.
Hi, I'm Seahawks kicker Norm Johnson for B&B Used Cars. We've got some great deals right now, so come on down and kick a tire.
Norm, it's okay. It's okay. We'll do another one, huh? All right? Norm kicks, take 55.
Brian Bosworth, the Boz. He's gone, and we never had a chance to say goodbye. But you can relive those glory days with a new video cassette, The Boz, a tribute. You'll get all the big plays, including the Boz's courageous goal line stand against Bo Jackson. You'll see the Boz take on the best in the league. Watch as the Boz runs down Bo Jackson. There's the Boz. Another 10 yards and he would have caught him. And speaking of Bo Jackson, did we mention the Boz's fearless goal line stand? Watch the Boz nearly intercept a pass. See a perfectionist at work. Order your video cassette of The Boz, a tribute, and receive absolutely free an audio recording of his best-selling autobiography, The Boz, Confessions of a Modern Anti-Hero, as read by Fred McMurray.
The Denver fans were screaming profanities, spitting tobacco and beer at me, and some of the men were just as bad. In Seattle, I just don't go out, because if I do, someone will want to talk to me, and I'll just feel like smashing them in the mouth.
You get that and more. And don't forget the Boz's incredible goal line stand against Bo Jackson. The Boz, a tribute to a man who, if not for a couple of bum shoulders, might have been pretty good.
Now playing, Brian Bosworth is stone cold.
I don't get you.
You don't?
I don't.
You don't?
Nope.
What'd I do?
It just seems like every time we try to get close, and just when the mood is getting right, and I'm waiting.
My shoulder hurts.
Yeah, right. Your shoulder always hurts. You've been saying that ever since Seattle days.
Well, now, wait a minute. They weren't so nice to me up there, you know.
What sort of mean things did they do to you, Brian?
Well, they wouldn't let me have the number I wanted.
That's terrible.
Yeah, and the helmet messed up my hair, too.
That's rough.
Yeah. And then, you know, Bo Jackson? He always used to come up to me and knock me on my butt and stuff. Everybody made fun of me.
They did?
I think so.
Say, Brian.
Uh-huh.
Would you kiss me?
My lips are kind of chapped. You know, so maybe this wouldn't be a very good time.
Get ready for Seahawk Fever, the show that celebrates the Seahawks on their march to the Super Bowl. And now, here to help you catch the fever are Andy Weller and Jenny Davies.
Hello. We're back with another Seahawk Fever, the show we rushed on the air and sold a lot of advertising for 6 weeks ago when the Seahawks were 3-1. I mean, they look so great. Anyway. We're pretty much committed to this time slot, so the 9 of you out there still watching, we're going to be right here until the end of the season.
That's right, but enough negative talk, Andy, because it's time for our positive Hawk Talk of the Week. Brought to you by Morgan Insurance, who say, you can bet your life insurance the Seahawks are going to the Super Bowl.
The positive Hawk Talk of the Week, they almost won last Sunday.
That's right, they very nearly beat the Denver Broncos, but they didn't.
So let's go right to the highlights of that near victory.
And as usual, Seahawk highlights are brought to you by James Jewelers, who say, let's make some Super Bowl rings, Seahawks.
Super Bowl rings, you bet. Okay, on to those highlights. Let's see, there's an injured Bronco. That was good for the Seahawks. Here's a good shot of Eugene Robinson on the phone. And there they are leaving the field.
Okay, and now let's turn to Herb Lyons for his playoff percentages feature, where every week he keeps us updated on the chances of the Seahawks going into the playoffs.
And again, playoff percentages is brought to you by Wheeler Medical Center, who say we can cure anything except Seahawk fever. Herb?
Well, speaking of highlights, I thought it might be interesting to look at highlights of my report for the previous 5 weeks. So let's take a look at that, shall we? But even with the loss, they are in great shape. 3 wins and 2 losses, and that's not bad. But, you know, considering it's the AFC, 3-3 at this early stage puts them right in the playoff hunt. And so at 3-4, that wild card spot is still wide open. Even though they are 3-5, that still means they could end up 11-5. They could. People keep asking me, at 3-6, they're out of it, aren't they, Herb? And I say, oh, no, they're sitting pretty. And now for tonight's report. It ain't gonna happen. All right, they ain't going anywhere. You got it? Quit calling me and asking me what it would take, because it'd take nuclear sabotage or an unfortunate accident involving another team's airplane. It's over, comprende?
Thanks, Herb. And we'll see you again next week. And you know, Herb raises a good point, Andy, because a lot of teams fly through bad storms at this time of year. So if one of those planes went, that could be a factor.
Yeah, well, okay, Jenny, you just keep thinking those good thoughts, okay?
I will.
In the meantime, it's time to look at the psoriasis scoreboard, where each week since the show started, we're donating money for psoriasis research for every touchdown the Seahawks have scored. Our grand total is $20.
And hey, that's okay. It's not really the worst disease to have anyway. And now let's go to the phones, where we have some fans with the fever. Hello, you're on Seahawk Fever.
Yeah, the Seahawks suck.
Thank you. Next caller.
Suck.
Great. Next caller.
Suck.
Thanks. Next.
Yes, this is United States Representative Steve Largent from Oklahoma.
Oh, well, hello, Steve. What's on your mind?
The Seahawks suck.
Thanks, Steve. Well, that's it for this week, but be sure to join us next week for Seahawk Fever.
That's right. It'll be a whole new show with a couple of new sponsors, the Darwin Depression Clinic and Albright Funeral Home. We'll see you then.
Bye-bye.
We'll get him next time.
Yeah, right.
Hey, you played well.
Uh-huh.
Hey, you guys, hey, the reporters are coming in, and there's another female reporter this week. And hey, whoa, but the coach says he doesn't want any more incidents like last week, so you guys have to cool it. Cut it out.
Excuse me, Joe. Joe.
Yeah.
Hey, this has got to be a tough loss for you and the guys.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Still, now, I couldn't help but notice that today, well, your passes, they seemed a little, well, little passes.
What do you mean?
Well, they looked a little short to me.
I haven't had any complaints before.
Still, you have to admit, it would be nice if they were longer.
Look, there's nothing wrong with my passes. Besides, I think if you check it out, you'll find out they're quite a bit longer than average, actually.
Oh, well, certainly, they're adequate, but let's face it, you're no Boomer Esiason.
Oh, and what do you know about Boomer Esiason?
Hey, you're not the first quarterback I've ever interviewed.
What are you telling me?
Well, Boomer has a really big pass. You can feel the power.
Yeah, well, my passes are plenty powerful, too, sister.
Well, on a good day, I'd say that was true, but today, well, you were releasing early. Those passes fell short. I was disappointed.
It was cold out there. Besides, It's not the length of a pass, it's whether you complete it or not that counts.
Oh, God. I've heard this before.
Look, it is so easy for you to criticize because all you have to do is sit there. I'm the one that's got to perform.
Hey, don't do me any favors, okay?
Joe.
Yeah.
Tough game today.
Yeah, tough one, Lou.
Short passes, though.
Yeah, right.
How do you solve a problem like the king? How do you keep the tiles from falling down? How do you fix an eyesore like the kingdom? A ton of explosives, a wrecking ball, a plow. Oh, $10 million is the price tag. About the same as a kingdom beer on tap. So why should the city pay $100,000 a day when it's easier just to blow it off the map? Oh, how do you solve a problem like the kingdom? How do you fix a pile of concrete trash?
The movie that he's in was originally called The Brotherhood, but by the time it was released this week, it had been changed to Stone Cold. Because, right, they wanted it to be more appealing to Bosworth's fans, and that's the way most of us remember it. Stone Cold. Usually after he'd encountered Bo Jackson. Stone Cold. Although you might be interested to know that they tried several other names for the movie before they settled on that one. At least we thought you'd be interested, so we obtained this list of other names for Bosworth's movie. For example, Brian and Gary's Greedy Adventure was one. Look Who's Mumbling. 10 Men and a Baby. Oh, they should have gone with that one. Obviously, they missed a bet there, yeah. Another one they tried was Silence of the Box Office. Or Mr. Jerk Goes to Hollywood. All right, another good one. The Fabulous Bozo Boy. And Honey, I Shrunk My Brain, which, again, obviously missed out on that one. In other news, we at Almost Live have been watching with interest the amazing parallels between the Seahawks' two big stars, Steve Largent and Brian Bosworth. Both injured early in the season, both out for 6 weeks, both from Oklahoma. How interesting. Well, we thought since they're both just about ready to get back in the game, we'd take a look at how they match up in other ways. This is the Almost Live Largent-Bosworth comparison chart. Largent worked out daily to improve his skills. Bosworth ate steroids daily to improve his skills. Largent often leaps over tackles during the play. Bosworth often tackles after the play is over. Largent can make it look like the defense is playing with only 10 men. So can Bosworth. The Boz sees himself as a ladies' man who can have any woman he chooses. Largent is married and works as a professional football player. A typical promotional ad shows Largent standing with his family for United Way. Bosworth is sitting nude in a shower for a Via. I think we have that shot, as a matter of fact. Oh, yes. Beefcake, what a beefcake, yes. Only he could play defense. Okay, anyway, Largent's future will be highlighted by retirement and a Football Hall of Fame induction. Bosworth's future will be highlighted by retirement and a role in Police Academy 8. In conclusion, Largent is a curly-haired golden boy. Bosworth is a buzz-cut goofball. Seems very fair.